It's such a time to be. It's such a time to be alive. It's such a mystery. You're such a mystery tonight. And only you know me like winter knows the rain. And only you know just how to make it all okay. With the lights down low, we'll take it slow and send the fools away. And I always love you more than yesterday. And I love you more than you will ever know. How sweet this life, I'll never let you go. Nothing compares to holding on to you. I love you more, this I confess to you. Confess to you. What a lovely face. It's such a lovely place to know. I've never felt this way. Just feels like home. With the lights down low, we'll dance real slow and whisper while we sway. And I always love you more than yesterday. And I love you more than you will ever know. How sweet this
Yeah, just go for it.
They say laughter is the best medicine.
Welcome, Michaela. Welcome, Carrie.
Good, get joke in my chat.
Welcome, Julie.
Oh my god. Okay,
It may start popping.
what?
It may start popping, so it's Pam Hayes. Oh, it's up there.
This I confess to you.
Okay.
I confess to you. I confess to you. I confess to you.
Okay, wait. Should we hold it?
Alright.
Alright, yeah.
Alright.
Woo! Okay. Definitely made it. Oh,
It's such a time to be.
I'm so glad to be free of
It's
this.
such a time to be alive.
Okay.
It's such a mystery. You're such a mystery tonight.
Alright, Dad.
And only you know me like winter knows
What's the message?
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the series premiere of This Winning Life. For those of you that I haven't met yet, my name is Tamara, and I'm a certified health coach. Thank you so much for joining me today. Each week, I'll meet you right here, and we'll have lots of fun and exciting moments. You may have questions or comments during the show, so type them in the chat. And following our wonderful guest of the show, I will respond to your questions and comments. We will cover a wide range of topics on the episodes of This Winning Life. We'll talk about things like how I make coffee, some of my favorite recipes, optimal health, and we'll spend some time just chatting. This is another big step out of my comfort zone, so I'm glad you're all here supporting me today. I began my own journey to optimal health in September of 2017. What is optimal health, you might ask? Optimal health is about living the biggest life possible. It's about doing good and doing well. Optimal health is about lifelong transformation, developing one healthy habit at a time. Really, optimal health is about being the very best version of yourself. I started my journey one day while sitting in this exact location. That day, I was unable to keep the tears from flowing down my cheeks. That day, I was in tears because I was nowhere near optimal health. I was hurting physically. My self-esteem was not in the right place. I was searching and desperately needing a lifestyle change. That day, I had a heart-to-heart with my husband, Alan. I expressed to him my desire to follow in the footsteps of my cousin. She was well on her way to achieving optimal health. And that day, she became my health coach, and I began my journey. In the months leading up to that day, I struggled with some physical and emotional barriers in my life. My feet were hurting all the time. At first, I thought I needed more supportive shoes, but no matter what, no matter which shoes I tried or the cost of the shoes, nothing helped because it wasn't the shoes causing the pain. If anything, I was causing my shoes pain. I was aware that foot pain is a symptom of diabetes, and that led to fear as I was scared to think about my future with this disease. Also, I was experiencing severe sciatic pain. The pain started in my hips and would shoot all the way down my leg, and it would cause my feet to go numb. The sciatic pain was debilitating. I couldn't even sit through church service. I went to the chiropractor as many times as my insurance would allow. This helped reduce the pain some, but it never really eliminated the pain. So as I began my journey, my health coach guided me to pursue a more healthy life. But it was up to me to follow through. When I first started my journey, I was looking for a weight loss solution, a diet, if you will. I did lose weight, and as I lost weight, the pain and fear began to subside. My foot pain disappeared. My sciatic pain disappeared. But I never imagined that I would find so much more than a diet. But then I learned about the full value of the other components. First, I had a health coach, and she was right there cheering me on. I had a whole community support group of new friends who were on the same quest for optimal health. And I was learning day by day to create healthy habits along my journey. My success came by integrating myself into all of those tools that I had available to me. I've come a long way from that day to this day. On this day, I have a new outlook on life and living it to the fullest. On this day, I have transformed to a healthier mindset. And along my journey from that day to this day, I have experienced other victories. Now I have a healthy relationship with food, and food no longer controls me. I have a newfound confidence to share my journey with others. My desire is that everyone achieves optimal health so that they will experience all the all the freedoms that I found. For those who are searching for a change, you are not alone. I have been where you are right now, and many others have also. In fact, my health journey has influenced over 350 others to begin a health journey of their own. We are living proof that it is possible for anyone to achieve optimal health. My success came from a personal desire to make a change. So what about you? Are you ready for a change? Then this show is for you. During today's show, we're going to meet some wonderful people. They have been on their own health journey, and I want to share their story with you. I also want to hear from you. Send me a question or comment in the chat or a private message if you prefer. During today's stream, I'll be responding to any questions you may have. Now I'd like to introduce the first guest for today's show. She's a beautiful lady and mother of 4 little girls. Her journey has been exciting to say the least.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Lucas and I want to tell you a little bit about my health journey. I've been overweight for as long as I can remember. I've tried every program imaginable with only moderate success. And in 2015, I endured a triplet pregnancy, which was very taxing on my body. The first 2 years with 4 kids and managing a career were rough, and I was miserable. And I turned to food for comfort. When the babies turned 2, I had had enough. I knew I had to focus on my own health to be the mom and the leader that I wanted to be. My journey has truly been life-changing. I've changed my relationship with food. I have plenty of energy to keep up with my 4 kids and work full-time. I've lost over 100 pounds, but I've gained a sense of freedom that I've never known.
Well,
What an inspiring story, Kelly. Thank you so much for sharing. I heard you touch on several reasons why you decided to start a health journey. Would you mind to tell us more about that?
Absolutely. I was just miserable. I was miserable with myself. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I didn't have the energy to keep up with my 4 little girls. I had a career that I felt was suffering from my excess weight and everything that was just holding me back in my life. And I needed hope, and watching your journey gave me that hope. And I decided to venture off to my own journey of optimal health.
That's awesome. So, my goodness, you've lost over 100 pounds.
I have.
Wow.
I did the math this morning, and today it's 109.5 pounds.
Wow, what an accomplishment. That's awesome. So tell us, how has that changed your life?
Oh, I can't even tell you all the different ways. The list is so long. But a few that jump out to me it's made me a better mom, and that was one of my initial whys. I have 4 little girls, and I want to be around for a really long time to watch them grow up. And I needed to get my health under control so I could make sure that I was around to see them grow. It's also changed me as a leader. I'm a professional. I think it's changed my career trajectory for sure. Also, it's changed all of my relationships with my husband, with my family. Every relationship I have has improved for the better just by making myself happy and getting my health under control.
I love that. I love that it's more about just losing weight. It's just a whole transformation fully.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
Oh, my
I know
pleasure.
that you've been inspiring so many others and health coaching yourself. So
Yes.
thank you for showing up today and being with us. So our next guest is a sweet young lady that I've had the privilege of knowing since she was in 7th grade. Let's learn more about her journey.
Hey guys, so my name is Celeste and I started my journey with Optavia on July 13th this year. After trying so many different yo-yo diets and different acclaimed weight loss programs, even personal trainers, and none of it seemed to work for me. I would take off a couple pounds and then put them back on, but unlike these other programs, I fell in love with Optavia my very first week on the program. I think that this happened largely due to the amount of support that you get with this program, but also in my very first week I lost 13 pounds, and after this I continued to lose weight steadily, and so it didn't take me very long to realize that this program was the real deal. I started this program primarily because I wanted to feel young and I wanted to be able to act my own age. You know, I'd always felt like my weight really held me back from doing that, and I just honestly wanted to achieve a sense of self-confidence. All of which I definitely achieved with this great program. And even though I'm still working on losing the weight and gaining all of that sense of self-confidence, I have lost 75 pounds on this program and gained so much more, along with a new sense of myself, a new sense of confidence, and a new closet.
Celeste, I absolutely love your story. I will never forget that day that we met up to talk about what was why you were reaching out to me. I could tell from just talking to you that day that you were so ready for a change. Yeah. So will you tell everybody what was your main motivation for wanting to make changes?
Yes, definitely. So I would always say that my main motivation for wanting to make a change was just the fact that I'm young and I wanted to feel young. And up until then, I had never felt young just because I felt like my weight really kept me back from being self-confident and being able to really just go out with my friends and express who I really wanted to be, because I've always called myself the most introverted extrovert you'll ever meet, because and I feel like I've been able to express my extrovert side more now, but definitely the fact that I never got to feel young. And so now that I've started taking steps to achieve my own health and have made such a big indent in that, I feel a lot younger than I used to. I feel 21 instead of feeling much older.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely agree with the confidence thing. That has been something that I definitely have experienced. So that's awesome. So also you stated in the video that you struggled most of your life, but that you've tried this and that, and nothing seemed to ever really just work, or nothing that you could really stick with. What has changed? What's different about this program?
Well, I would say that the biggest difference in this program is just the fact that I, first of all, have supports coming from all sides. I have my health coach who is able to reach out to me whenever I had questions, or just whenever I felt like I needed motivation, or sometimes you just send me little things that would help me get through that day if I was struggling in the very beginning. Or I feel like that's a really big change, as well as just the online community that we're supplied with, because there's so many people that will reach out to you and give you different recipe ideas and just keep your motivation constantly fueled and just ready to go. And I feel like that's definitely the biggest difference, is that this program is made so easy. And so I feel like that's the biggest difference for me, is that this program, it doesn't make you work for it. It's easy to get there.
That's very true. If we're able to stick to the schedule, it's really pretty easy, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, I know, it's crazy. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your story with everyone. That takes a lot of courage, and I appreciate it. All right, our last guest is a dear friend, a business owner, and wow, can this lady sing. I wish she'd sing for us today, but maybe in another day. Let's hear a little bit about her journey.
Hello everyone, I am Lisa, and I would like to tell you about my health journey. I have struggled with being overweight most of my life, and in the busyness of life with running a business, I didn't pay attention to my health. And before long, I was to the point of being miserable. Tired, aching joints, feet and back, snoring when I slept, and difficulty breathing, just walking was enough to do me in. Thank God my health coach, Tamara Smith, came into my life and shared this program with me. I jumped in with both feet and decided to ask God's help to stick with this new way of eating and developing healthy habits. I asked God's forgiveness for abusing my body with the wrong foods in the wrong amounts, and I turned it all over to Him. I learned to stay focused on my whys for doing this program, and I learned to trust the process one day at a time and to trust God to get me through it. I have lost 68 pounds so far, but what I have gained is more confidence in myself to accomplish goals, and I have also gained an ability to love people on a deeper level because I've learned to love myself through this awesome program.
Lisa, thank you for coming today, and I just love how our friendship has strengthened so much since we started on this journey together. One of the things I love about coaching, and I know you've learned this too, is the joy that comes from the friendships that we developed as we interact with each other on a weekly basis. And your story is very amazing. So tell us, what changes have you noticed in your everyday life since you started your health journey?
Well, there's so many changes that have happened. First of all, I have a lot more confidence in myself, just as a person. It was hard for me to be out there and talk to people, but I feel much more comfortable now being out there with people. And I have a lot more energy than I used to have. I felt like I was pretty much walking around with a ball and chain hooked to me. Feet hurting, aching back, aching joints. Had a knee replacement a year ago, and I didn't want to get the other one replaced, so I thought I've got to do something. And so much better now.
Awesome. Do you think you're going to be able to avoid that?
Yes.
Awesome.
In Jesus' name, yes.
That's great. Well, you talked about your weight loss, and that's definitely something to celebrate.
Yes.
You've had some great success. Also, tell us some of the other things that you've noticed, some non-scale victories.
Okay. Well, I work a pretty physical job. We have that information account, and so I'm on my feet all the time. And I can work all day without my back hurting now. My feet aren't hurting, my legs aren't aching by the time I get home. And so that's huge for me because we get really busy in the spring. And so I'm working long hours, and so that's been huge. And the fact that I can bend over and tie my shoes and breathe at the same time is huge for me. So that's another non-scale victory. And I know that seems kind of simple, but it's those little things that really, the little things in your life that you do that you don't realize after getting weight off. Things just are so much easier, and you don't even think about those things when you're going through your everyday life. And then after you can do all those things, you're going, wow, those were little things, but now they're big things.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for being here today. So now let's open up the floor for questions. Let's hear from you that are watching right now. You can send a question or comment in the chat, so don't be shy. Thanks so much for some of the guests that have shown up today. Annette and Marilyn, Cindy, Angela, Emily, Mary Catherine. Thank you, ladies, for showing up today. All right, so we have a question from my Twitch channel. This winning life, what's that all about? Well, before I started my journey, I felt like I was failing in a lot of different areas in my life. So it made me think about, I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to continue failing. I wanted to win in life. So this journey has provided lots of wins along the way. It's a great example of a win-win concept. On this journey, we're winning all the time. We're winning together. It makes me a better version of myself, so I can be better for my family and my friends. And I get to help others win as well. I get to help them reach their goals and win. Pretty much the only thing that I've lost is the weight. So that's just a win-win right there. Thanks so much for that question. All right, and from Cindy, how did you stay motivated for an entire year? Well, that's a good question. So when I reached out to my health coach, she began asking me what was my main motivation for wanting changes, kind of like what we talked about today with our guest. She wanted to know my why. One of my whys was right here in this picture. My son was getting married in January. Okay, now I'm going to get emotional. My son was going to get married in January, and I had no confidence in myself. Many of you know I'm a photographer also, and pictures and photographs are very, very important to me. But I felt like that I would not want to be in the pictures because I didn't like the way I felt about myself. I didn't like the way I looked. Just being really honest here. So that was my first why. My first why was to get myself into a place where I could have a little more confidence and feel better about myself. So I started in September, and by the end of November I had lost quite a bit already, and I went shopping and found that dress to wear in this wedding. And then fast forward to January, I accomplished my first goal, which was my why, one of my whys. So what motivated me to keep going? It was my whys. It was focusing on my whys. So I had more whys than the wedding, but I would focus on those, so that helped me stay laser focused when faced with temptation. Would any of our other guests like to share about what's helped you stay motivated through your journey?
Sure.
Lisa.
Well, the why is the big thing. We have a 3-year-old grandson and a 6-year-old granddaughter now. And I couldn't run and chase him around the yard and when I was at the weight that I was at. And I want to be able to be that grandma that can go and do all kinds of things with them. And so that's one of my big reasons for avoiding the temptations. Because when those things come along that kind of entice you to get off the plan and to not keep eating healthy, you just remember all of those things. You just go back in your mind, and I wrote all that down before I started this, and so I just go back to my book and I just read all those reasons, and it really does. I can just say, it's not worth it eating that, or drinking that, or whatever, and so it just and then you feel terrible after you eat terrible anyway. So you just, it's much easier just to remember all those reasons if you can write things down, that really helps you to stay focused.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Your Katie had a shout out saying, "Go Mom."
Yay! You go too, Katie.
Anybody else want to touch on that question?
Oh gosh, I would say that my biggest motivation for continuing the program is honestly just the fact that if you don't continue the program then you don't continue to feel great. And so honestly, I just don't feel like it's ever worth it to go back to feeling like I have this ball and chain to carry around. I want to continue to feel good and young and just be able to live the life that I'm coming into for the first time, really, of just being healthy. And so honestly, there's no contender. Food is not going to be the chain that holds me. So go.
Absolutely. And I echo what all these ladies have mentioned, is going back to your why. What brought you to reach out regarding this program, and setting small goals for yourself that are achievable, and it really helps bring that success, and it's exciting to meet those small goals. And when you run into that temptation, when you've written your whys down, which is important, I had them on my cell phone on my lock screen, and I would go back to them frequently when I was tempted. And it would remind me why I'm doing this and why the food or the drink or whatever it may be isn't worth it.
Awesome. All right, next question. What was your biggest obstacle when faced with temptation? Well, my biggest obstacle is that I had 100 pounds to lose. And that's a lot of weight. To think about losing that amount was really overwhelming in the beginning. So what I did was, well, I had to get my mindset right, because at first I was thinking, well, I wanted my body to show up like Amazon Prime, I want that in 2 days. Well, then I realized that wasn't realistic, that I didn't gain the weight overnight, and I wasn't going to lose the weight overnight. So I had to, just develop that mindset and get right about that. And along the way, I had some great changes, and so that kept me going. And really, what I found also in the long run is that I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted a life-changing transformation, and that's exactly what I found. So, anybody else? Obstacles. What was your biggest obstacle?
I think we all have lots of obstacles, and it's just called life, right? There's birthdays, there's holidays, there's many things that come up in a given year or a given month that we want to celebrate, and a lot of it is the culture, the American culture that we live in. So there's going to be those obstacles, but you're going to have a birthday every single year. Yeah. You're going to have Christmas every single year. So I never felt deprived that I was staying on plan and choosing not to eat holiday food, because I knew there would be years to come that I could enjoy that kind of food in moderation once I was maintaining my weight and living that optimal health life. But it's changing your mindset to that you don't feel like you must have that or deserve that. It's just food.
Yes.
And it'll be there.
Absolutely true. And I feel like a lot of that is just adapting our culture as well. Actually, just sharing a small thing off of that. This year for Christmas, my grandma always used to do candy in the stocking, and she knew I didn't want that in my stocking this year. So it was funny because I woke up Christmas morning and my grandma had put zucchini in my stocking. And honestly, it was like the best thing though, because I used it to make one of my favorite meals, which is a zucchini noodle Alfredo. And so honestly, it was like the best thing she could have done, and it was hilarious. But I honestly think that some of the biggest obstacles are just learning to change your culture and change your traditions.
That's
so,
exactly right.
yeah, absolutely.
Our biggest obstacles are our own mind sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a question in from Annette. She wanted to know, think well, I know I've met my weight goal. So, what I'm doing now is really hasn't changed a whole lot because I've learned how to fuel my body from the beginning. So, I've gradually developed these habits along the way. I'm still eating 6 times a day like I was before when I was in the weight loss phase. Now I'm just adding more foods back in. So not doing a whole lot different, but still just enjoying knowing how to eat, how much to eat, and just enjoying the way that I continue to feel. So I think that about does it for today. That's all the time that we have for questions. If there are more questions that I didn't get to, I will certainly answer those when I have a chance to get online and look at all those questions that you sent in. Thank you so much for participating with that. So today I want to end with a very special message to those who have family and friends who are on a health journey. I attribute a large part of my success to the amazing support that I have received from my family. It started with that tearful conversation that Alan and I had at the beginning of my journey. Your loved ones, they need your support throughout their journey. Let them know that they are worth it. They need to know their journey is worth it. No matter the cost, no matter the time, no matter the struggle, your health is worth it. So that does it today for today's episode of This Winning Life. Thank you so much for all of you who joined today. And remember, you are so worth it.